My best friend asked me to play her boyfriend on a family trip. She said, "We'll share a room." For as long as I could remember, Emma had been my best friend. We met during our first week of college, after I accidentally spilled coffee on her notebook. Instead of getting angry, she laughed and said, "Well, I guess we're friends now." She wasn't wrong. Over the next 6 years, we became inseparable. We celebrated birthdays together, survived breakups together, and called each other whenever life became overwhelming. Everyone assumed we were dating. We always laughed it off. "We're just friends," Emma would say. "The best kind," I'd add. That's what I kept telling myself. Because somewhere along the way, being just friends stopped feeling like enough. I never admitted it. She deserved someone better than a guy who spent his weekends fixing his old truck and forgetting to buy groceries. So I buried my feelings, until one unexpected phone call changed everything. It was Friday evening when my phone rang. "Please tell me you're free next weekend," Emma said, without even saying hello. I wasn't planning anything. "Good." She hesitated. "I need a huge favor." I smiled. "How huge?" "You have to pretend to be my boyfriend." Silence. I honestly thought she'd made a joke. "I'm serious." "What?" "My parents rented a lake house for our annual family vacation." "So?" "They keep trying to set me up with my mom's friend's son." Ouch. "They won't stop. Every dinner, every holiday, every phone call." "So you invented a boyfriend?" "Yes. And now you need one." "I need you." I leaned back in my chair. "You know, fake dating never stays fake in movies." She laughed. "Life isn't a movie." I wish she'd been right. 3 days later, we were driving toward the mountains together. She handed me a list. "What is this?" "Our relationship details." I laughed. "You made notes?" She nodded proudly. "We've supposedly been dating for 4 months. Favorite food? Pizza." "I do love pizza." "I know." "Favorite movie?" She smiled. "The one we watched 3 times during college." I looked at her. "You remembered." "I remember everything." That sentence stayed with me longer than it should have. When we reached the lake house, her family welcomed us warmly. Her mother hugged me immediately. "So you're finally the mysterious boyfriend." Emma squeezed my hand. My heart nearly exploded. Not because it was fake, because it felt real. Dinner started peacefully. Then came the questions. "So, Jake," her father asked, "when did you realize you loved our daughter?" I nearly choked on my drink. Emma answered before I could. "It wasn't dramatic. We just fit." Her father smiled. I like that answer. Later that evening, Emma grabbed our bags. "We should go upstairs." Her aunt looked confused. "There's only one room left." Emma nodded. "That's fine." Then she looked at me. "We'll share." I froze. The room overlooked the lake. There was one queen-sized bed. One. Emma dropped her suitcase and laughed at my expression. "You look terrified." "I'm calculating how little sleep I'm getting." She threw a pillow at me. "We're adults." "I know. And we're pretending. So relax." Easy for her to say. That night we stayed awake talking until almost 2 in the morning, about childhood, dreams, regrets, everything except the one thing I actually wanted to say. The next morning, everyone decided to go hiking. Halfway through the trail, Emma slipped on a wet rock. Without thinking, I caught her. She landed against my chest. For a second, neither of us moved. Her eyes searched mine. Then her cousin shouted from behind, "Aww. You two are adorable." Emma slowly stepped back. Neither of us laughed. Something had changed. That evening, there was a family bonfire by the lake. Emma's grandmother sat beside us. She watched us quietly, before smiling. "You know," she said softly, "I've seen fake smiles. I've seen fake relationships. But whatever you two have, she pointed toward our hands. That's real. Emma and I looked down. We hadn't even noticed. Our fingers were intertwined. Neither of us pulled away. Later, while everyone slept, Emma asked if I wanted to walk by the lake. The moon reflected across the water. The entire world felt silent. I lied, she whispered. About what? My parents weren't the only reason I invited you. I looked at her. I was scared. Of what? That if I brought someone else... She stopped. I'd spend the whole trip wishing it was you. My heart pounded. I've been trying to ignore something for months. What? She smiled nervously. You. I laughed quietly. That's funny. Why? Because I've been trying to ignore you for years. Her eyes widened. You? I've loved you longer than I should admit. She covered her face. We're idiots. The biggest. She laughed through happy tears. I thought I'd ruin our friendship. So did I. She stepped closer. So, can we stop pretending now? I nodded. I'd really like that. She kissed me beneath the stars. Not dramatically, not like a movie, just honestly. It felt exactly where both of us belonged. The next morning we walked downstairs holding hands. Her mother looked at us, then smiled knowingly. I knew something changed. Her father laughed. And, please. Still pretending? Emma looked at me before answering. No, this one's real. Her grandmother simply sipped her coffee. I told you. Everyone laughed. The vacation became one of the happiest weeks of our lives. We stopped acting, stopped rehearsing stories, stopped pretending. Months later, I returned to that same lake. This time carrying a small velvet ring box. Emma looked around in confusion. Why are we here? Because this is where my favorite story began. I got down on one knee. I came here pretending to be your boyfriend. I'd like to leave as your fiancé. She didn't let me finish. She threw her arms around me first, then whispered through tears. My answer was yes the moment you caught me on that hiking trail. A year later, we stood in front of our families again. Only this time, there was no acting, no fake relationship, no script. Just two best friends who finally admitted what everyone else had seen from the beginning. Sometimes love doesn't arrive as a stranger. Sometimes it spends years sitting beside you, laughing with you, protecting you, waiting patiently until you're finally brave enough to stop pretending. Every time someone asks how our relationship started, Emma smiles at me and says, it all began with one little lie. And one shared room. The funny thing is, that family trip was supposed to convince everyone we were in love. Instead, it finally convinced us.